What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
When they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fierster, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
Oh my God, all those promos. Welcome to the Author's Quill. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday wherever you are out there in our big, beautiful blue planet. I mean, we cross every time zone on the planet, so it's interesting. And to all of my friends, happy Sunday over there in Aussie land. For somebody else, even getting closer to Monday, isn't it? I know it's kind of weird when we're time traveling like that. I hope everyone really is truly having a good day. We have looks like a lovely guest with us. John's going to introduce her because I'm not going to butcher her last name. So. See how dirty dog I am sometimes. It's
This is Sandra Skalski. Hi, Sandy. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to be here.
I knew John would know her name. See how easy that was. Sandy, nice to meet you. Welcome to the Author's Quill. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
It's always nice to meet winners, man. I mean, geez, it's I don't think it's ever going to get old for me. This is, I think, year 5 or 6, and there's a lot of people I've met. And I said they're all great people, and so many of y'all go on to do bigger things. I just, and I said, to me, it's like bragging, right? So, when you're rich and famous one day and you get a big movie to your credit, I can say, I knew her. She's a really nice lady.
Yeah, so she's got a story in this new book here, Rise of the Surviving.
This pretty book here.
She's not seen yet. And she's got a story here called Slipstone. And let's see. No, it's too much glare on this.
Yeah,
but anyway,
awesome
story. And then... now you're in New Jersey.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll be going to New York in about a week for the Audio Publishers Association conference and the Audio Awards, which is a big audio publishing thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be in your neck of the woods. I was there a few weeks ago, and I'd screen cap each day the temperature. So I just, because out here in LA, it's like, you get below 60, people bring up their parkas. And so it was like, a screen cap, and there was 10 degrees. I said, whoa, I was walking out there because at that point I was doing an interview with Tom Doherty, who's the publisher of Tor. He's the creator of Tor.
Yeah.
So I was walking out to get a big bag of bagels to bring back home with me to LA because I love New York bagels. I went to do the interview with him. So it was, I don't think it'll be quite as cold next week when I go out there. But
you're really lucky. Next week is our spring, fall spring, we call it. So it'll be warm next week just for a few days.
Yeah. So I'll take advantage of that. But I bought some earmuffs and stuff like that. So I can get out there. But I was just also in Utah at Life Universe and Everything conference last week, which was was 20 degrees. And then the week before that I was in Colorado Springs at Superstars. And that was also below freezing there as well. So have a chance at least a couple times a year to bring out my cold weather clothes. You know, to wear
you're really lucky over there in LA.
Yeah, they're little wimps over there.
We're serious wimps over here, but it's
actually the last 2 times I went there, it was kind of cold. I was like, "What the hell is this?"
I like one thing we don't have seasons, and I do like the idea of experiencing seasons, which you get over there in Jersey. That's a good thing. You've got some. Is that cold front that was coming down? Is that already blown through now, or is it still?
It's still here. Yeah, the last few days it's been really, really cold. We went on a hike yesterday and pretty much froze.
Wow. Yeah, that's not a problem we have here. So, but anyway, so I loved your story. It was a great concept there. So how do you think that thought? That's one of the things I'm always amazed with when I read the stories in Writers of the Future, like, how'd they think that? How'd they think that? So where'd that idea come from, Slipstone?
Well, I actually watched a couple movies back to back, and it sort of sparked the idea. It was the Time Machine that, the old
Wells?
Yeah. And Free Willy. And for some reason, the combination of that just that sparked the idea for the story.
Wow,
that's an odd combination. I have to say.
Yeah, it was a very odd combination.
It's a great story, and I like good endings, so that was good.
I'm glad people. That was my goal, was to have something that people would enjoy. So.
Yeah, so it was like that was very refreshing. It was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. It's one of those things that's really good. You got the time travel. You've got the adversity that comes up, and the whole thing of the orphans and that type of thing. And then family is obviously, I don't know if that really shows your own concept of family, but it really came through.
Yeah, family. I mean, to me, family, however you define it, is just really important. So
yeah, it comes across in your stories. That's good.
Great.
Yeah, so it's good. I can totally understand why Jody and the judges picked it. So great. I have no say on what goes into the book. I just have a say in how to promote the winners in the book. So
I was one of the beta readers, and I love all the stories. So yeah. I'm really excited for it to come out.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I'm about halfway through now. And speaking of that, where is it? See, you can't. There's so many readers in my family. I can't sell books down. It's dangerous.
Did you get an advance copy?
Yeah, I sent one to him too, but it's this one
good.
here. Okay. It's an awesome cover. It's like
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And in fact, I took that.
I call it
the cover reveal.
I was at the reveal.
Yeah.
And in fact, I have the art as my screensaver.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. We did live Q&A last night with Jody Lanai, and we had a lot of people there pre-ordered the book so they could have it, and it pushed the on Amazon, and pushed it way up on the ebooks. A lot of people pre-ordered the ebooks, so that was really good. It's each year we really are the best new authors and artists, so we're very excited. And since Joe put in this thing now of been interviewing everybody before they come out, it makes your visit to Los Angeles less stressful, because you've already gone through, your I guess it's
like a pre-interview, really.
Yeah,
because we're gonna
dip into media, and the fact that you're being watched right now or listened to by 2.5 million people, you get over that.
Okay.
I just ignore it. I don't even think about it when I'm on air. Well, right now there's about 45,000 people watching us on Roku, saying, looking at us, they're out there. And then, of course, right now I don't really see anybody on Facebook or YouTube, but then the station itself, the outbound station itself we're probably in about 140 countries pushing. So we're in the first half hour, probably about, right over 2 million right now. And as it progresses on, we'll get 2.5, 2.6, so anywhere from 2.3 to 2.6 million. But what's nice when you get to LA and you've been there a little while, somewhere along the line, I'll probably get a chance. We set up places and we do interviews while we're
Okay.
there, just to catch y'all in the feel of what's going on. And then somewhere after that, Carmen will probably harass y'all down the line and set up interviews probably 6 or 7 months after you've had time to get home and kind of let it mull through your head. So I know John and I will be both bugging you, but there's other press there besides us. So it's just fair warning.
Okay.
There's other people.
I don't mind. I like to talk. So.
And I'll tell you, like I've told anybody else, if you see a judge for some reason you feel intimidated or you don't want to talk to him, you want to talk to him, but you just don't want to approach him, let me know. Just tap me on the shoulder and I'll walk you right over and introduce you. I love doing that anyway. I love it. So it's easier that way too.
Demure.
Hey, I'm a very nice guy, and most of the judges know I'm a pain in the ass anyway now, so it's okay. It's one of the things, and they all know what I'm there for. So it's one of the things. But I got to say, everybody I've met in judge wise, boy, that was some good grammar. Everybody I met judge wise there have been really nice people. It's amazing to me how much they go out of their way to address the winners.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I was expecting to find people, but that's not what I found. I found enthusiastic people that want to teach y'all, the next step, and not just the next step, but because I noticed when the first time I was watching, it was kind of like, oh, they're teaching them how to be better artists or better writers. And then I started noticing they started teaching, dealing with the press, just dealing with, getting yourself published, how to go around it. It's what kind of business you should be running, where you are financially wise. It's interesting. It's a lot of information to take in. I'm not going to lie, but really and truly to get that, you'd spend a year or two going to an art school or to a school for reading just to, it's kind of crazy, but they're there for that and they enjoy doing it too. That's what cracks me up.
I'm really looking forward to meeting everyone.
Yes, I noticed a cover. I noticed a cover. A couple of them like to invite people to have pizza with them at lunchtime. We're not going to mention no names, but there's two of them for sure. No, really, that's what they're there for. And I get a kick out of all of them because now they're used to me. So I hear stories that I wouldn't have heard before, and I get to see the differences in how they react with each other, just like y'all. So don't be surprised, like if they don't always agree on the best technique for you. That's the best part, by the way. That really is. It's the best part. But you'll have a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. It's a little hectic. You're ready. So you got to write the 24-hour story, huh?
Oh yeah, that's actually. I think that's going to be fun. I think that's
easy. Even I could do that. It's easy.
I don't know.
It's easy.
I belong to
Joe's nose just grew another quarter inch.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
No, I belong to a creative writing group. And
that's going to help.
That at our meetings. Obviously, it's not anything that's long, but we write to prompts and things. So I kind of like that because you don't have too much time to fuss over it and overthink it. Yeah. So I kind of think that's probably why it works.
Yeah. And it also just proves that you can actually create. You don't need to have some type of amazing. The stars need to be aligned a certain way. I need to have my favorite kind of coffee with the wrong kind of creamer. It just totally sets me off the wrong way. So, it's like you can just sit down and create. And that's, you're just around so many creatives there, which makes a big difference too.
Yeah.
But how long have you been writing?
Well, I probably started maybe 20 years ago,
no way. You're not that old.
I wanted to write novels, and I did. I wrote a few, and they're away somewhere. But then I started to look at short stories, and at first it was because I thought I needed some publishing credits if I wanted to get an agent, etc. But what I really found was I actually really learned about writing by writing shorter things. And I think I really learned a lot by doing it. So I'm for many reasons, I'm really glad I decided to do it because you have to be, succinct. You can't really ramble on. You have to be to the point, and I think overall it really kind of helped my writing improve.
That's good. Yeah, it does. And you're right though too. It does give you're going to have a good pub cred, with the writers of the future. It's,
Oh yeah.
it doesn't get much better than that, which is good. So did you take the online writing workshop on writing?
I did. Yeah, that was great. I loved it.
What was the part
was
about
good.
that you found to be the most helpful?
I really liked the exercises because it kind of forced me to put in practice what I was hearing.
Yeah.
So I found that really helpful. So, I sat down and said, I'm going to do the exercises and I'm going to, write what they suggest that I write. And I think that really helped.
Wait, did you hear that, Joe?
No, I wasn't listening, man. I'm sorry. I'm ornery today. I'm still recovering from
almost
last
done
night.
this course twice now or 3 times. But
I tell you what, it's just fabulous. That's all I can say about it. And for as much trouble as I gave everybody in the beginning, it is really, and so there's just some really truly. If I could ever get something in my head solid, I probably actually understand how to write now. I could probably actually sit and I could even probably use the literary jargon if I needed to, but still, I have imagination, just not that kind.
Well, you can write a story about your construction company and then being overrun by alligators and snakes from
extraterrestrial alligators. There we go.
There you go.
But I look forward because I like watching everybody when they're doing the story. I like watching everybody for like the reveal when you see your artwork, and I mean there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many just moments there, and I didn't even understand that the first year I went, and the first year I went was they're back from COVID.
He was trying to discover the truth behind me where I was.
Yes, I was.
All my hidden secrets. He was looking for that.
And they dropped me in when they had, instead of 24 winners, they had 48 winners. I looked like I could breathe. I was so busy.
Oh, is that the makeup?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Pandemic. Okay.
But I was, in all fairness, I was really happy to go out and tell people about Writers of the Future. And I was really ecstatically happy to see that what they told me they were actually, because I'm going to be honest with you. I've been invited to a lot of award places over the years, and some of them I'm just like, okay, you can give me my ticket. Let me go home now. They're like, well, I'm like, yeah, I got to go. You don't want me to stay any longer. Trust me. Just send me home now. There was one out of New York, particularly. I said, no, I got to go. He said, but no, I said, there ain't no buts. But we're going to take you. I said, no, just let me go. I said, it would be better. I actually told him, I said, it would be better if I leave now. If I find out anything else, I will really have to be kind of nasty about it. So I left. But it was a refreshing experience. And I think for most of the people when they first come, it's a little overwhelming. It can be a little, terrifying if it's not something you're used to. But I noticed after the first day, everybody's just kind of like, wow. And
relaxes a little.
And it amazes me how much pressure seems to go away after that first day. It just seems everybody's like, okay, I kind of got an idea what this is going to be, and boom, the illustrators get walked in with all those great people. Y'all get to hang out with some of the best writers on the planet, which I love picking all of them too. It's a lot of fun. But and then if you got a favorite, at least you get to meet your favorite, because every once in a while, you run across somebody who has a particular favorite. I think the most touching though was April's Solomon and Larry Elmore. Yeah, they're both artists, but it was I thought Larry was gonna lose it. But I mean, it's stuff like that makes a difference.
April's doing so well right now.
Yes. Yeah, no, I see her publishing I see her posting all the time. I'm on one of her pages somewhere, and that's how it is. And when you tell people you won, it carries weight. I know everybody I've talked to locally, and even some of the colleges that do lectures, and I notice it pulls weight, and they want you. And I don't know how to even find out, because I lecture about all kind of other things other than what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. And it always amazes me, because somewhere towards the end, because I always do a Q&A at the end of all my lectures, and someone will have to ask me about Writers of the Future, always. Mm-hmm. I said, it's not on my resume nowhere, is it? I said, no, it's not even on the website. Hell no. It's on. Now, there's a lot of stuff where we do reporting that's on the website, but that's a whole different thing. I don't. But somebody always asks, and I have to give them the whole story, which takes about 15 minutes. But they're always like, really? I'm like, yeah, really? I'm like, yeah, you should try it out. I said, if you win, you get to go. I said, think about it. You get to go to LA basically for free. I said, and you get to hang out with famous people, no less. I mean, that's pretty good. Plus, you get to go to this beautiful gala where they feed you and wine and dine, you make you look pretty and stuff. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's pretty. It sounds good to me. It really is. It's a blast. The gala is beautiful. Emily does a fabulous job on it. It's she should not have said that. Now her head's gonna get like this.
No, I watch it. I watch it every year. I've watched the gala online.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
You just picked out already?
Oh, I did.
So there you go. You got it under control.
Oh yeah.
You got it under control. It's always fun to me to watch, because that's another thing I get to watch. Some people are prepared, and some are like, "Oh my god!" And so far, I have not seen anybody pass out walking up the ramp yet. So.
Yeah. I just hope I don't trip or anything stupid.
They seem to get it set up pretty good. I mean, and there's usually someone standing right there too, which is a really smart idea.
Yeah, and we have somebody to help walk you up the steps and walk you down the steps.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, it's really nice. I mean, you'll enjoy that, and then all the stuff that goes on. And like I said, it gets crazy. I don't know. I talked to a couple of winners right in the middle of it, and they're like, "How many days have passed?" I'm like, they're like, yeah, it's been a few days.
I'm sure it's gonna go really fast.
Yeah.
It feels like, and then boom, you're like, damn, it's already over. And,
yeah, it's an intense week, but it's good though, because you've got so many things to cram down in that short period of time. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things like, okay, some people have a problem. I need my 8 hours of sleep or 10 hours of sleep. But some people I'm going to take every possible ounce I can get of this thing here.
What's 8 hours
at home? But right now I want to just suck everything in that I possibly can.
Alexa, stop.
This is a reminder.
Oh, stop.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's mine like to do that kind of stuff too in the middle of stuff. I'm glad Siri didn't hear. She would have started talking to her. It's well, people, I'm just gonna tell y'all now, anybody listening who's won this contest, 8 hours sleep is a fantasy. Okay, I'll just be honest about it. Ain't no such thing as 8 hours anything. And for me, I think John and I probably average 4.
And then you got dinner at nighttime. It's the affectionately referred to as BarCon, and that's where you get. That's where you really build up your lifetime friends. Because
And in between all of that, we're going to be bugging y'all for interviews. It's pretty much get up in the morning and go to bed at night nonstop.
That's okay. I mean, I could sleep.
I like it personally. I like it like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I always tell them I'll sleep when I'm dead, man. We can worry about it. It's I enjoy it. I enjoy the company. Everybody. I really enjoy meeting the people who have won, because I can see in their face that, a lot of them makes them look at themselves different now, and a lot of them who are struggling may feel like they might have a better shot at getting ahead. It's because when you walk in to talk to anybody, hey, look, well, I won it fair and square. I won the contest, guys. So I know it pulls weight.
What's quite an achievement. How many times did you enter the contest, Sandy?
I think like maybe 14 or 15 times.
That's about average for an author.
Yeah.
I've been keeping track since it makes John crazy, but I've been keeping track since I started. I've been keeping track of ages. So a lot of them I find that are we'll just say 30 somethings and leave it at that. And because 30 something really means from like 29 to 44 something. We're just gonna say 30 something and leave it at that. And usually between 12 and 16 tries to get in. I can't tell you how many I've actually gotten it written down because I write it down every year, but it's fun. It's and that's nothing. That's only 3 years, 4 years.
Well, I think for me, what was really encouraging is that, okay, I eventually won, but it was the honorable mentions and the silver honorable mentions, because that to me was encouraging. You submit to markets and you just get a rejection back. You don't know, was I close? Was it,
don't you love that they don't tell you?
This is really, to me, was very helpful, because it was like, okay, it wasn't terrible. Maybe it wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad. There was something that the judges saw in it that, was encouraging. So for me, that really was really very helpful.
That's good. Yeah. And that's several people too, because you don't know, you never hear back from anybody when you submit outside. You just get a reject eventually after a year or whatever. And like, okay, so what was wrong? So this time you get basically every 3, maybe 4 months max if you submit it at the very beginning of a quarter, because it takes a month once the quarter's order for the judging to be done. And so it could be sometimes 4 months, but otherwise it goes really fast. And when we put in the honorable mention, silver honorable mention, finalists, semifinalists, finalists, it made a big difference too for people to be able to judge how they were doing, and as they're increasing their storytelling ability. So, we've got various, famous authors who at the beginning, got their honorable mention, and that was for them. It was all they needed to know that they're on the right path.
Yeah.
So, you've got, some big names right now that honorable mention, and then they pro'd out, but for them it was an important step. So that makes total sense what you're just saying there.
One of these days I'll get 5 words and I'll be happy. Maybe 6 words. I don't know. Yeah. I've actually written a couple times. To me, it always turns out to be jibber jabber. So it goes the way of the dodo bird. It's
well, a lot of famous writers say be willing to throw away your first 500,000 to 1 million words. So you're well on your way, Joe.
Yes, well, I probably am. It's sometimes it's easy for me to write more sterile stuff, I guess is a good way to say it. So it's too many reading of documents over the years, I guess. It gets stuck in your head. What's that, Jimmy Lee? No, that's 6:30. Yeah, come back at 6:30. Yeah, yes, that's when the insanity starts. It's like Mardi Gras on steroids or something. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, everybody in New Orleans, happy Mardi Gras. So I don't get in trouble. I forgot. Yes, I didn't play no Mardi Gras music. Oh my God, I'm going to get email for sure now. But it is happy Mardi Gras time down in a big city, everybody. So if you're down there, have fun, stay safe, and spend some money. Yes, especially go to some of my friends' places and spend lots of money. Okay. Yes. Oh yes, please go down. No, really, have a good time. We're 2 weeks out from Mardi Gras Day, so I know this is one of the big weekends. So stay safe. So, you ever been to Mardi Gras, Sandy?
I haven't. No, I maybe someday.
It's for crazy people. It's it's like you have to be insane for how many ever days you're here, and then after that, it's fine. Yeah. And they always get that saying, what goes on in New Orleans stays in New Orleans. So it's pretty much true.
But I've been there. I've been to the city, so I do like the city, just not for Mardi Gras.
And it takes I don't really go anymore. So people ask me all the time, why don't you go on? But I don't know. Frankly, it's just too much of a hassle, to be honest with you. Yeah, unless I'm going to one of my friends who got a place on the parade route where I can just walk out the door and watch it, and I'll be happy. But other than that, if I got to go walking 5 miles to get to the parade route and then 5 miles down, no, y'all can keep that.
No, that's a lot.
I might as well go to LA for that, man. Get some exercise. It's that's another thing. I swear, I feel like I'm in a Doctor Who episode every time I'm out there at the gala. I do so much walking. I always lose like 5 to 7 pounds when I'm out there. It's just literally how much walking we do around. And for some reason, the last 2 years, everybody wants to leave the hotel and walk down to Author Services to do shoots in front of the building. I'm like, really?
Well, this year the workshops are going to be at Author Services.
Oh, see that? Well, this was later in the evening, but yeah, that's good. They can get them while they're there. It's I thought we were going to kill Larry one year. I was like, damn, people. It felt like we walked for 16 miles. I mean, it's only like 3 blocks or something. I don't even think it's that far, but what is it, John? Like a quarter mile, maybe?
Not even.
Yeah, it's us. I guess not even that. It's when you would take the long way, it's a little bit longer, but or the slow way, as like I like to call it. So you get to explore LA while you're there too, getting some travel.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Forward to that.
So is your husband coming with you?
No, he can. I mean, he's his mother is not doing well, so he doesn't really want to travel at this point. So it'll just be me. That's okay.
It's totally okay there. So on your career now as an author, so are you like dedicate yourselves full time to becoming an author, or are you like you have a regular?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I am still going to work on my novels. I'm still writing short stories and submitting them, and hoping to make something of it down the line.
So does your husband then cover for you, so you can just do that, and then are you stay-at-home mom? Or are you like what?
I am recently retired.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I actually have some, so I can pretty much do what I want.
Oh, good for you. So
I
now
do
you're
spend some
taking
time.
care of it.
I have grandkids, so I do spend some time babysitting.
Grand. We call in the
But other
South. We
than
call
that,
them.
I can devote as much time as I want.
Yeah. Well, in the South, we call them grand heathens. So you know.
You know what?
We call them
calls-
heathens. Children. Look, the children just one wild down here in the deep South. They barely ever wear any clothes. It's like something out of a freaking Tarzan movie or something.
Yeah, they
It's,
just take after Joe.
Not me. I'm always well dressed. The hell with that. It's no, Denise. No, actually, John just dropped in with us, so we're gonna bring him up in just a second or two. But we want to give Sandy one more time. Anything you want to plug, or any websites or anything, or?
No, that's one thing I have not done yet, and I kind of need to do is put some website of something.
But you know what? You can cheat on a lot of stuff because you can do Facebook. But I'll give you a little piece of advice with Facebook. If you do it, make sure you do a business page, not a personal page.
Okay.
Because anything you post on a personal page, Facebook can use legally. They can use.
Oh, okay.
It's in their bylaws. So,
okay.
But if it's on a business page, they can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I always warn people of that because I found that one out the hard way. So I was like, wait, what do you mean you can?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yes, I didn't either. 15
Yeah, I'm
years,
not a
12
huge
years
fan
ago.
of social media, but
But unfortunately,
I recognize the need for it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it sells a lot. It's a big seller these days. It's and it's like a good friend of mine. He's got a little TikTok page. He's got about 100,000 subscribers on it. He's turning about $31,000 a month, clear. It's after taxes and everything. And
That's
I think
amazing.
I think he works maybe, I shouldn't say he's gonna get mad at me, 16 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, then I got other friends over there making money. We're just now setting one up, so we'll probably start seeing probably takes a couple of months to get up to. I think you got to have a minimum 10,000 just to monetize, but those kind of things are easy. So not only do you make money from what you're selling, like your any books you got up, but things that you post, or if you have like an author's chat every once in a while, anything like that, it drives you over that 10,000 actually starts making you can start making money off that as well. And so it's just other ways to generate incomes. I know like our Rumble part of our station makes money as well. So, I mean, you can monetize YouTube, but YouTube's a little weird these days. I don't know. They're a little, how can I say this politely without losing a page, flaky. I shouldn't even said that. But they actually cost us a page because they said we talked about them.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
now you just lost another page.
Oh no, I'm gonna stick. They're gonna keep it up. I'm gonna stick Michelle on Miss who lives at the North Pole. Yeah, our station manager actually lives in Canada, and every time I talk to her, it's like subarctic up there. I'm like, move. It's 0 degrees outside. It's 16 below. I'm like, move, go somewhere else.
But I'm just curious now, Sandy. So you prefer writing fantasy, or you like? You do?
I do both. I don't write any horror.
Right.
Don't like that. But fantasy and science fiction both. Yeah, because I do have a science background. So
so do I. That's cool.
Yeah, my career was as a chemical engineer. So I do like the hard sciences.
Wow. So you can do.
You should do near now sci-fi. Then you'd love it.
Oh, that's scary stuff. You can do.
No, because you because I got a bachelor's in science. So the thing of it is you have a lot of it's already in your head. You know where we are today, what the progression from today for the next 100, 200 years is. It's kind of there, and I noticed those are pretty popular, like the Expanse and Altered Carbon. They do really well, and there's been a few others besides that out there, and they make good money. But I don't know how much science fiction you like. That's pretty deep inside.
I just saw a movie called The Gorge, which was it released on February 14th on Valentine's Day, and it's a romance, but it's also genetic engineering gone bad. It's based off of a true story of research that was done, I guess, after World War I. It was in this gorge. It was in Norway or something like that. This gorge that they were doing this chemical engineering to try to create the perfect soldier. And there was an earthquake that caused a thing to the vials that they're doing to rupture. And so everybody was down there, the 2,500 soldiers and stuff were affected by it, and it caused genetic mutations. So if they started, the plants and animals, they started like becoming, the same type of creature. And history has it that there was a research happening in Norway in a gorge, and there was an earthquake that caused a problem. And so this took that story and just went on in a different direction.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it was the concept was, finding out that it was based on a true premise that made it even scarier.
Yeah, because it could happen.
Yeah. The stuff like what happened in Wuhan, it's like, all the cover up and everything that's happening on that stuff, you kind of go, wow, it's.
No, let's not get started on that. The Pope's about to die. The Antichrist is in the White House. Come on, people. No, let's not even go there, man.
No, let's welcome John Barlow to the conversation. Then, hello, John.
John, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Sorry for that weird intro we had going on there.
That's all good.
It's we host a political show the night before this one. It's late at night. Thank God too, because we'd probably get thrown off there if it wasn't. It's I think
he's an illustrator winner. He illustrated The Stench of Freedom. So congratulations on winning and being in Rise of the Future Volume 41.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Damn it.
Yeah,
it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you got here's his picture in there. You just saw it there? Okay, good. And
we're not allowed to see any.
No, they won't let me show them because they're actually in this copy.
I know, I bet they are.
No, yours is a really fun illustration. I just love the way you did that. So that was very, very cool. So well done on that. It's a great story. I mean, they're all great stories, but it was, your use of color and depth and how you did that. Did you do that? That was Photoshop, or what did you use to create that?
I mostly use Procreate, which is, it's basically just Photoshop, but a little friendlier. So yeah, done digitally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked the story too. So it was a fun one to illustrate.
Yeah. So how many times did you have to read the story to be able to come up with what you wanted to do to be able to do that? Just the first time, or did you have to read it multiple?
Well, I feel like it was interesting reading the story, knowing I was going to illustrate it. So I was a little more like on alert for those kind of scenes that I'd want to draw. But I think I probably read through it maybe like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Rereading specific parts. If I was like, okay, what's he wearing? What's the environment like, that kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah.
Had you been art directing before?
I didn't realize I had the ones in color.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like this. I'm sorry, John. I've been reading stories, but I just jumped in, and I guess my thumb went past the pocket where the colored ones are. I thought they were all
the front signature has the color plates in there.
Yeah, I thought they were all black and white. And I'm looking at yours right now. So I haven't read this story yet, have I? Okay. Now I'm gonna have to go read the story after we get off the air.
Yeah.
By the way, we're talking about this book right here, ladies and gentlemen. I know I was just picking it up, moving stuff around where y'all can't see it, but there you go.
Yeah, volume 41. It'll be on April 10th at the Rise of the Future Gala, and then releases officially on the 21st of April in bookstores all around the U.S. and Canada, and a few months later, the rest of the world. Had you been art directed before, John?
Yeah, a little bit. I do some, whatever freelance I can sort of scrape together in between sort of my other jobs and stuff. So I'd been art directed before, and I'd worked as a designer and stuff. But I think this is my first time meeting like this specific art director, Echo, who is great to work with.
Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a page with your like art station, or do you have any place that has your art?
Yeah, I have a website where I have not all my art, but I have sort of the pieces worth seeing.
Yeah, but not the piece that's in here, but the stuff that you won with. Because if you send the link to Joe, maybe he can pull it up and we can show some of your art too. Because it's a great opportunity. You're being seen right now in, like Joe, you said 120 countries.
I think we're at 140. That's what we've been averaging.
You're being seen. We're about 2.5 million people are watching this right now or listening to this. So if we put up your links.
Even
and
being watched in war-torn Ukraine and Russia right now.
For sure. Yeah. Where should I send the link?
Look, there's a chat thing on the side over here. Comments. Hold on, maybe I can. Maybe I can. You can see it when I type
see the
in.
chat there on the right side, John.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
put
going
your
to
link in
balloon
there.
now because when I say hello, 5 million other things has to say hello. Carly, what are you talking about? What links? It's yeah. You see, when I that's why I try not to talk on it, because when I do it, it sends it out to all the things we have open, which is insane. Okay, let's put this in a separate link so I don't lose y'all.
JohnBarlow.com.
Yes, let's see. Then we did open it up on.
So the
As long as I
two
open it in Google.
W's or the second W.
Yeah, well, I got my John Barlow with one W was taken, and my middle name starts with W, so
Okay.
it's not the most convenient link, but it's been working.
Hey, it
so.
works. Hey, look, it works. When it comes to links, you got to get what you can get. I mean, unfortunately, I've had to buy a lot of links, so I've actually sold a lot too. But it's you just got to get what you. I'm glad they started adding things on the ends, but still, man, sometimes you just got to get what you got to get. So this is cool looking.
About having Illustrator winners is that they always have such amazing art to be able to share. So it's always fun. Yeah.
Yes, it's so we can just scroll through it. So are these for something, or just stuff you were doing, or?
So it's a mix of stuff. Some of it is from I got my master's in illustration, so some of it's just schoolwork, some of it's professional work, but I also I do a lot of like personal work that I run a Patreon as well, so like stuff for that.
That's good.
So it's just sort of whatever I'm interested in, but I tend to do mostly like fantasy stuff, since that's sort of what I was raised on and what I enjoy.
Yeah, see that.
Oh, wow.
It probably makes it easier if it's something you enjoy. It's
Definitely.
So
yeah.
Are these illustrations against stories,
Try
or
that,
are these commissions, or?
Probably like maybe a third of them are commissions. The rest are just sort of I like sort of illustrating, so that there feels like there's a story happening, even if there's it's not actually of a written story. But yeah,
you do pretty good at it, I can tell you that. It's what we
you.
got over here. What we got going on over here, man. These look like some kind of alien people taking over singing. What's going on? It's who's this over here? Hello you. Wait, we're highlighting the wrong thing there. It's so you just relax, you chill out, just sit down and start drawing or typing, or I like this tree too, by the way.
That looks like something from like Gavoth, or however you pronounce it, from
Name of the Wind. Yeah.
Name of the Wind.
No, drawing for me has always been very like meditative. It's just something I really enjoy doing. So, I figured.
See, you're the kind of guy that's going to hack me off. You know why? Because I'm going to see one of your covers and go, wow, this is going to be a really good book. And I'm going to read the book and I'm going, God blank darn it. It's not such. Because when I'm looking at this artwork, I mean, it does. Most of the artwork I'm looking at here kind of does portray a story in the art. So I'm thinking if it was on a cover somewhere, I'd be going, man, what's this tree thing? I want to read about this.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is as an artist, I want you to judge the book by the cover.
Yeah,
For sure.
It's we were talking about that last year.
For the art.
Yeah, because a good cover can sell a book just bam, bam, bam,
Sure.
just by sight only.
I mean, just with this cover here for Rise to Feature 41, a lot of people are just because they love the cover, the type style on it, the font, the whole thing on it, it just so works, and it's an amazing illustration. That Craig Elliott did, and this is from. He was on I forget, it was Treasure Planet, the Disney movie that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. He's been he's an illustrator judge, but he's been an art director for Disney and Netflix and several other studios, and so he's over all the artists underneath it. So a lot of the boats, that were in Treasure Planet were his, and this is one extra one that he had that never got used, so he saved it, and then he then he showed this when Mullica, the editor, was going through. Said, "Wow, that looks great." Then he built around it, and so that's where we got this, which is just amazing. You know, he's just such an amazing artist.
That's really, really. I didn't know that at all. That's super, super cool, though.
Yeah, he'll be there. He'll be one of your instructors. So he's like, he's so humble, and that's some of these artists. Several of our judges are just super humble.
Yes, they are.
He never entered the Illustrators of the Future contest because he didn't think he was good enough. And here he is. He's the art director over Disney and Netflix, and he's done stuff Dreamscape. He's been art director for Dreamscape. So he's got all this stuff here. And he said, "No, he was following the contest from the very beginning back in the 80s. He said, "Yeah, I saw. I didn't think I was good enough, so I never entered."
Yeah. But when I blow this picture, there's quite a lot more detail in there. The one on the other screen didn't do justice to it. I couldn't see any of this really good, or any of this over here, or even the horns on his head. I didn't even notice until I actually blew it up.
Yeah, that was a fun commission. Lots of little details in there.
I always like stuff like that. It's kind of like Where's Waldo? It's
I mean, I feel like I was, I read a lot of like the I Spy books growing up, so I feel like I always enjoy doing that kind of thing. Yeah. Just putting in details.
Yes, that's that kind of stuff's always fun. And I mean, this tree is fabulous. I mean, you should do this in oil, man. Really, you should do this in oil. You'd probably get big money for it. It's I'm an oil freak, but any artist who does real oils, decent size oils, will tell you, minimum you're looking at $5,000, and that's for, how can I say this politely, a bad one. It's in the quarter you'll see oils up there. You'll see small ones, like 12 by 12. They'll be $700, $800, $900, and that's from nobody artists that nobody's ever even seen or heard of. And then for more known artists, it'll go up in value. But even the unknowns, you'll see the larger ones, the ones that are like 3 foot by 2 foot. They're going for anywhere from $3,000 to $13,000, $14,000 a piece. And there's a new thing going on down there. So they're making oils, but they're aging the oil to make it look like an old oil. They're not trying to fraud anybody. It's just it's a fad that's going on. And those are selling upwards of $50,000.
Wow.
I was like, what? I said, man, I can't even paint a stick man. It just hacks me off. I'm telling you, John, I'll tell you, if I draw a stick man, it's crooked. It's you'll be leaning like one side or something. It's pathetic, people. I'm just telling you, it's pathetic.
Yeah.
No, I love this kind of stuff. It's and Echo's a fabulous teacher. I give her, she's a lot of fun too. She's definitely one of the instructors that's more like, hey, do it like this, and it'll save you some grief. And it's one of the things I like about her. And then she's one of the first people I ever seen started using a virtual studio. Not a lot of people can work a virtual studio. So she's got her studio up there in Washington, and she's got it as a virtual studio as well. So that was a kind of nice touch, for people who want to shop online, just pop through and go through the studio, which was kind of a she's also got it set up so you can put it on a headset while you're there and look at it, which cracks me up. She's definitely got her stuff together, and she's a good teacher. Plus, she's got some really nice oil work. I mean, she does it pretty much everything. And most of the instructors
in every medium.
Yeah, pretty much most of the instructors you're going to meet there are pretty much well versed across a lot of them. Ron, there's just all of them are really nice people. It's
I'm excited to meet all of them. I think I haven't done oil myself. I'd have to upgrade my studio to that, but it sounds like I should. It's
one of the things.
Yeah, you'll come up with various things there. Now, one thing too, because everybody listening to this thing or watching this, so John's an Illustrators of the Future winner with an amazing image in Rise of the Future Volume 41, and
John, let me show it.
Andy's also a winner with her story, and I just put a link in the chat there to be able to pre-order your copy of Rise of the Future Volume 41. They really are the best new voices in science fiction and fantasy. They're the field that they were picked from is just huge. I mean, you got thousands of entries every quarter, and these are the ones that were chosen by the top authors and artists in the industry right now as the best new voices. So you absolutely cannot go wrong to get a copy of this book and just discover your next favorite artists and next favorite authors on this thing here. And the thing that I'm always amazed with is I think in words, not so much images, and so I can, with what Sandy does, being able to put together words. I don't write stories, but I write press releases and articles and whatnot. But I'm like Joe. I flunk on stick people, So when I look at John and what he's putting that stuff together, I kind of like showing the emotion that you got in there and everything else is like I have nothing but total respect
from Mars, man,
for someone that can do that kind of stuff there. So I'm just curious how I'm playing you both against each other here. So we've got a story idea. You see it as an image, John, and you see it as words, Sandy. So how does that work? So you didn't do the same story. You didn't illustrate Sandy's story, but then Sandy, how you conceptualize and put stuff together versus John, how you conceptualize and put stuff together on an image. Like, how does that work in each of your heads?
For me, I always see my stories as a movie that plays in my head. And the challenge is to get it down on paper so that other people see the movie as well.
That's interesting because that's very similar to A.E. Van Vogt talked about. He watched L. Ron Hubbard write once because L. Ron Hubbard had a creative. He was like 92 words a minute was his composition speed, and so Van Vogt he watched him. He looked towards the wall and he just started typing. So he was watching the movie, like you were saying there. Mm-hmm. You'd be typing the story, and when we proofread the Stories from the Golden Age, which we released, that was 153 stories that we released in 80 books. And we'd be proofreading. All of a sudden, wait, I already read that. But what he would do, he'd get to a point and then it would be like it would dead end. So he'd go back a page or two, pick up from there and type through his change. And that's how he'd go there. Because he also had over 90% first submission, first sale. He'd sell it on first submission. And it was just amazing seeing that. So that's what you're saying there is a lot of what he did. So how's that compared to you, John? How do you visualize? How do you put stuff together?
I think for me, I approach it by trying to figure out what like the core feeling I'm going for is. Because I think I find, I'm always very jealous of authors who can sort of say things so perfectly and succinctly. Yeah. So, illustrating this story, I was trying to figure out like, okay, how does it feel? And then trying to get the image to match that basically. Yeah. So it's sort of, I wouldn't say like watching the movie necessarily, but I get a sort of blurry image in my head and I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out how to make this real basically. So it's always an interesting sort of give and take process, but yeah.
One thing that's really fun is as one of the best event is obviously the gala, but there's the other one, which is the art reveal. And that's a few days before where we have the, thank you, Joe. That link is on the side there. So this is where you can go to pre-order their book. And these are going to be the next best-selling authors and artists. So definitely get your copy of the book. But when you're going to be there, John, and you're going to put your art's going to be in the center of the room. You're standing to the side. We open the doors and the writers walk in and you don't get to say anything. And the writers walk in and they walk up to the art. And then once they picked out the piece, then you walk up to them and introduce yourself. And it's amazing. It's how fast it goes that people spot and recognize their story. Mm-hmm. And the artists are always so freaked out. Like, what if they don't recognize it? What if it's like, what if they think this? And what if they think that? The artists are totally stuck in their head on that. And the writers are totally stuck in their head thinking like, oh no, what if they couldn't find anything to even do? Maybe they just couldn't even illustrate it because it was so like, they couldn't even get anything out of my story. Both sides, have their equivalent introversion on what it is. But then once they get together, all that stress and strain blows off, and then you get so much emotion. Emotion just goes kaboosh, at the cover reveal. And Joe's seen that many times before.
Oh yeah, Millie, I get and that's another thing. Y'all are going to notice it a lot of times, but there's always cameras going on all the time. We're all he was just telling Maliva. Maliva's got important jobs, but she's also there taking pictures like me all the time.
Yeah.
And there's lots of arranged photos and stuff like that. But we want to catch y'all when you're just doing your thing.
Yeah. And this what you see here, that's the cover from volume 1. That's the very first volume of Brides of the Future down there. And those are 2 stories in there from Dean Wesley Smith and from Nina Creaky Hoffman. They were both published in volume 1, and they're both judges now. And you can just the family for Brides of the Future is now 41, almost 41 years old. And people, you're going to be meeting each other, and you're going to become lifelong friends, throughout your professional careers as artists and writers. People from way back in volume 5, volume 6.
Mm-hmm.
It got a lot easier once the internet came into being, so people were able to stay in touch with each other, because then they can email and have social groups. But I think you've already got a Discord right now going with.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So people have already been doing that right away. Somebody decides, okay, I'm going to create a Discord group and people are just in there, getting to know each other. Something that couldn't be done, some years ago. So that's really good on that. But if you pre-order the book right now and send in the evidence, we'll send you. We got screen art of that art there. That's just the art itself from Craig Elliott that we'll send you. That's either for your desktop, your phone, whatever device you have. We've got a screensaver for that art, that'll fit on your device. Yeah, you got 3 different sizes there. So that's something that you can get if you pre-order the book right now and just send it in.
It's like another episode of Doctor Who. This stuff weirds me out sometimes. It's actually, Kirby, I'm a Doctor Who fan before you even write to me about it. Yes. Well, not as much as I used to be, but still. For another show. How's that? Anyway, I got to go bring our other guest on while I'm talking to y'all. I'm not doing my job up here. What we got here? Oh, see, we got a video in here and everything, man. Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's
wait, who are these people? You know some of these people down here? Oh, wait, we got names down here. Who are these people, John?
Yeah, we got names. We got 2 names you see here. We got both a John and a Sandy in there, but yeah, we've got.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I didn't know everybody's names were down there.
Yeah, you got some of them as a guest already, and the rest that you haven't had will be on soon. And this is the.
Okay. Now, I've met him. I've never met him, though.
Yeah, Sean Williams, he's in Australia, although he's currently living in Japan.
Probably why I haven't
and
met
then
him.
Craig, and then you've met Craig Elliott. He's.
So Emily said I'm not allowed to hang out with Aussies anymore. So.
Yeah.
Something
you set a bad example. You're a bad example for
no. Ozzy was a bad example. I was well behaved. Damn.
Yeah,
See, you get in trouble just hanging out sometimes, man. John, you'll understand. Trust me. It's anyway, guys. I got to tell you, you're gonna have a good time. There's a lot goes on. But it is.
I'm super excited. Yeah, also to see the other illustrations. I haven't been able to really see or read the other stories. I got them right here,
but nobody will let me show them. So Emily said she'd break a finger for everyone I showed. So I was like, shit, I better not show any. They are. I've been looking at them. The bad part, I couldn't believe I missed the color. I was like, look at this.
Well, one thing we're going to have is coming up March, I think it's March 6th, we have Meet the Illustrators for volume 41. I'll set up the link in that. You can sign up for that one too. I'll put up the Zoom link on that one. Because that's to be able to meet the illustrators of the future volume 41 and the 3 pieces of art that they submitted that they won with. So anybody that's interested in art, you can just find out, okay, so how good do I have to be? Well, this is how good you have to be. So this is the link I'm dropping in right now. And it's, so this is the Meet the Illustrators of the Future, volume 41. Boom.
Okay.
There you go. There's the link then. So you can click on that and register for that. Like I said, that's going to be on March 7th at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So I'll just put that as well. So that's
let's go register.
7 o'clock p.m. Pacific.
Actually, Jackie, that'll be at on the chat later tonight. Yeah, it comes on at 6:30. Yeah. No, sorry. It's how can I say it politely? Those kind of topics aren't allowed on this show now because they make me angry and I'm liable to say something I'm not supposed to. So they're not allowed.
This is a PG show.
Yes, it is. Actually, technically, it is PG.
Yeah,
just like UFO on the covers, it's PG. No, we got R-rated shows on the network, and we have everything in between and PG-13 and stuff. It just depends. News on Flip Side is R-rated. The chat is R-rated with some other things behind it because John cannot behave himself. I'm all well behaved on this show. I'm like, yes, I'm all prim and proper and stuff. Yeah, okay. If y'all believe that, I got some land down in Salem, Louisiana. I'll let y'all have cheap.
Exactly.
Christopher, no, I'm sorry. You got to win. If you're rich and famous and you want to donate some money, I might be able to get you a table, but if you're not, no, you gotta win. They just let me come because they feel sorry for me. It's no, no, I'm being serious though. The only way you can get it, you gotta win. I don't know how else to tell you. You just gotta win.
Or have a network with 5 million people watching you.
Yes. Well, yeah, you can get invited.
We'll invite you.
Yeah, now if it's Joe Rogan, yeah, they'll invite Joe Rogan, I'm sure. But he's
yeah, we also invite. We got.
I've met some famous people there while I was there, so I'm not going to get anybody's names, but I've met a few of them while I was there. So all I can tell you is the best thing for you, Kirby, because you're not rich or famous. So the best thing I can tell you is but you are a pretty good artist. I've seen you work before. I said, well, draw something. Maybe Echo will take pity on you and send it on.
Joe is not welcome onto Writers of the Future Forum because we only do things that will encourage writers.
That's encouraging. I'm encouraging the writing because he might have a shot that Echo might feel sorry for him. And I mean, that's encouragement. Oh man, they're harsh around here, guys. I'm telling you, it's a hard show. Oh no, I was talking with him. I'm gonna have a guest host in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. No, 1 week, huh? 2 weeks, 1 week.
What?
I said I'm gonna have a guest host. John's gonna be traveling. You know, he's always on the road. Yes, he is. He's a road baby. It's no, I'm not gonna tell you who until she's here. Yes. Oh, see, I already gave away something right there.
Yeah, don't tell Emily's name until you're ready to introduce her.
That's right, because she is, she is something else. Actually, she's one of my favorite people on the planet. I know you always hear me talking smack about it, but she is really one of my favorite people on the planet.
Yeah, we were together a week ago or a week and a half ago in Phoenix.
We were out in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh no, we were flying around trying to get killed because that's when airplanes were falling out of the sky and stuff. Oh no, that's what the funny part is. When I landed in Phoenix, like 15 minutes later, a Cessna fell out the sky. I was like, give me a break, people. Oh. It's and so far in the last 54 days, 94 planes have fallen out the sky. That's unheard of. Most of them are small craft, but still, somebody need to get a grip on something out there. Janie Lee, we have another guest coming in a few minutes. I just sent him an invite. You can catch either one. So you just seen, we just were going through John's way. Oh, Stephanie had written in and asked, is any of that for sale? That's what she had asked me. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Is that for John?
Yeah, that's for John.
Oh, I do. I have an imprint store. Yeah, I can grab the link for that really quick.
Yeah, drop it in the chat.
Just drop it in the chat because when we wrap up, all that chat goes out with the shows. And Jamie Lee, I don't know. I don't see anybody on Facebook or YouTube today. Last time I checked Roku, it was well over 50,000. Rumble was sitting around 200 or 300. Yeah. No, people like to watch this in Roku because it's in 4K. and they like to explore like what's behind me and stuff. I actually started putting stuff back there and little things, moving stuff around because people write to me and tell me what's back there all the time. Matter of fact, you can't see Bob right now. Where's Bob? See, there's Bob. Can y'all see Bob? Oh, y'all can't see Bob. Let me see. Anyway, this Bob's back there somewhere. Maybe let me turn it like this. Yeah, there he is. Bob's back there. He's got a pair of sunglasses on his head, but I plant stuff inside of Bob, and we give away books because of if they can find it. So if you're on ordinary TV, you're not going to be able to see it. But if you're on high def or Roku or 4K, you'll be able to see what's in his eye sockets. And we give out books. It's a lot of fun. People are a little strange, but it's a lot of fun. Artwork, all kind of stuff. Because we get a lot of stuff sent to us. Matter of fact, someone just recently was threatening my wife about my studio has too much stuff in it. We're not going to mention their names. And so I'm going through it. I've been finding books all over the place that I got from different years, different stuff, all kind of stuff. So we'll probably be giving them away all summer. And I tell this, and for y'all, and this is always the same thing. So if you know you've got something new coming out, or you've got something that you're putting up for sale, either write to me or Carmen and let me know, or we'll book you on like a what we call a fast spot, like what we're doing today, really fast, and you can come on and promo and let people know it's available out there, because we're developing Saturday just for that kind of slots.
Yeah,
because trying to sell books on any other day on this network is a nightmare. People are like, no, we're not here for that. We're here to scream at people or find out about weird stuff floating around in your house or stuff. So they're not really interested unless it's like some kind of demon book or something like that, or alien book. But we made Saturday because you have Writers of the Future author, and Jean's going to put her show. Jean or John's going to put her show in front of John. That's another book, another show that does authors. And then there's John, and there's Echo, who we were just talking about. She actually hosted a show before this one, and then there's us. And then there's two other shows after that, but that doesn't, they're not so much about selling books as they're about screaming at people. So we don't. By the way, we invite everybody to come to those shows. They're just outrageous and out of control. Yeah.
I'm just curious, John and Sandy, did you guys get the book that Joni sent you? That was it, Typewriter in the Sky? Was that what it was?
Yes. Yeah, yep. I wasn't sure what we were supposed to do. Just read it before we go, or
read it, because that's a lot of the examples. Tim, that's Tim Powers, his favorite Hubbard book. So
okay,
I'll tell Joni, because I just wanted to find out. So I'll tell Joni she needs to let everybody know that they need to read it.
Yeah.
And you'll have some art direction as well, John, from Echo on different characters and different scenes from the story. But it's probably one of the first called recursive science fiction, where it's a story about the genre. Mm-hmm. And so there's a few of our judges that's their favorite Hubbard story, because it was like the beginning of recursive science fiction. So you've got the main one of the main characters there is Horace Hackett, who's a hack writer, and so he's in New York, and he's already been paid in advance for his story, but he hasn't even started yet. So the editor comes, okay, so what's the story about? So he starts like making it up. He's going along with it. And then his good friend falls in a bathtub, hits his head, and he ends up coming into his story. And so Horace is writing him into the story, and he knows that he's the villain of the story, and he knows that the villains are always killed off by this author in the end. They always die. But he's trying to keep himself alive, and he's a hack writer, so he's got like a Steinway piano being used in this place before Steinway ever existed as a piano. He's like, he doesn't do his research, and so all of a sudden you see these whoosh, and the scenes change. He just kind of like, he's not consistent with the story. It just plays fun on on hack writers, and so it's a very favorite story for a lot of writers. Just seeing the various things that you have to watch out for that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this writer doesn't. But there was a movie also that came out a few years ago called Stranger Than Fiction, and some of the movie reviews said, "Oh, this is L. Ron Hubbard's Typewriter in the Sky." So
okay.
That plot, where. But anyway, so I'll make sure that Joni sends that out. So, okay, you sent the link. Now tell everybody to read the story. It's going to be part of.
Now it could be that I misunderstood the instructions. So don't blame Joni.
I'm going to
blame Joni.
I don't know. If you didn't get it, then then her communication was not clear. So I'll make sure that it's made clear.
No, it's probably me.
Probably not. So
we
anyway.
we love giving Joni a hard time.
Yeah. And John's just been quiet the whole time. He just smiles. Okay, good. I'll just
Like, what did I get myself into?
I'll just be quiet and not get involved.
I have not started reading it yet, but I am excited to. I saw some of the artwork for the cover, that's always what I go to. And it was that sort of older sort of sci-fi fantasy artwork that I have so much love for. So
yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So we'll make sure that she knows to send out to everybody that, okay, you need to read the story. It's not a long story, but it's really fun. And it's very evocative to, for your illustration mind to be able to come up with different stuff. And it definitely is, a lot of the, at the end, a lot of the names that people he sees in the bar when he's back in New York are his pen names. That he used, because he wrote with 15 different pen names during the Pulp Fiction areas, because he wrote so much that sometimes some magazines had 3 of his stories in the magazine with 3 different pen names. So he was very prolific as a writer back then. In fact, when he wrote Battlefield Earth, it's 425,000 words. He wrote that in 8 months. And then the following year, he wrote Mission Earth, which is 1.2 million words, also in 8 months. So he had 2 manual typewriters that he would use. So he'd use one until it broke, and then he'd take the next one. He'd send that to the shop to get it repaired, and he would just rotate them, and he got through his that's how he wrote stuff. At night, he'd make all kinds of notes, and the next day he'd just move on with the story. Very, very prolific. And he'd call other authors. He said, okay, I'm okay, but nothing like some of these other authors that he would name as being really prolific. But anyway,
that's so impressive. I do a very sort of small amount of writing of my own. And I'll put together, it'll take me a couple hours to put together a page. So yeah, he was doing 100,000 words a month during most of the Pulp Fiction years. He was writing 100,000 words a month, 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. And that was his writing schedule. The rest of the time he was an explorer, adventurer. So he was traveling around, but that's how he was getting a lot of the material he would use to write with. And then this one here, which is, we've also done a lot of promos with Joe on, To the Stars. This was written in 1950. So February 2025 was the 75th anniversary. We've gotten several recognitions for this story from National Space Society, from all kinds of organizations. This is the first book that actually dealt with the time dilation theory. And so it was, the political and the mental and the sociological aspects of that. When that guys would go out and they'd come back, they would have aged a year, and their people would have aged 40, 50 years, so that was a lot of the stuff that happened there. And when you go out, this is the current level of technology. So you go out and you find fuel for that. You come back, that technology is long since outdated, so you can't even do that anymore. So it's like how to deal with that stuff. And every time they come back to Earth, they find a different religion predominant or a different political. We released it in 2004, and it got a starred review from Publishers Weekly, and Entertainment Weekly gave it an A review, because it was still very gritty, but just as valid as science now as it was back when it was written in 1950. But anyway, that was last year's story that the winners wrote. So this year it's Tim Power's favorite story that you're going to read. And he'll be one of your instructors with Dirty Lanai. Yes,
Tim is great. He's a
yeah. He's a 3-time World Fantasy Award winner. Yes. And then for the illustrators, you're going to have like Bob Eggleton. He's won like 13 Chesleys and 11 Hugos. He's a wild man. And then obviously Echo is just amazing. And Rob Pryor, he paints with 2 hands, and he's been training to go with NASA into space. He was commissioned to paint, I think, 20 paintings in space while weightless of Earth and space and stuff like that. So he's like seriously buffed out, getting ready to go to do that, but he's just amazing. He paints with his eyes closed too. It's just world-class artist that he does. And Larry Elmore can't make it up there, but he's going to do a live Zoom. We have Cirillo from Spain doing a live Zoom. You're obviously going to have Craig Elliott, the guy that did this. He's amazing. He has an amazing display that a whole slideshow that he's going to show you all the different art and how he does different stuff. We have, and we have B. Jackson. She was a grand prize winner in volume 24.
She's a sweetie
and
pie.
She's just amazing. She's the one that she illustrated the book Parker Looks Up. That became a New York Times bestseller. That's the one with Michelle Obama, the little girl that looked up there. So she did that one. She's done 3 books so far that were all New York Times bestsellers that she illustrates. So she's got amazing stories, that she can tell. So anyway, it's going to be quite a time for y'all. And then, it's just, we're really looking forward to meeting you, as we do every year, meeting the winners, and making new friends. And y'all have a standing invitation. Like, John, where are you from?
Minnesota.
Okay, yeah, because we go to Atlanta for Dragon Con. We go to Salt Lake City for FanX and San Diego for Comic Con. And if any of you can make it to any of those shows there, you're invited. We'll get you a pro pass so you can come in there and you can display your art or your works, and we'll give you space to sell your art or your books. We schedule that stuff.
Yeah, so we got a nice space they set up too. You going to Tampa Con this year too, right?
We're not sure because Tampa Comic Con is the same weekend right now as Dragon Con.
What? Oh. Now, who the hell would do? I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to be nice because I know both these people, so I ain't going to say nothing.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't because the convention center, the Tampa Comic Con, most people that go there are locals, so it doesn't bring a lot of new business into Tampa. So they want the medical shows, all the other shows where people fly in from everywhere around the U.S., because that brings more money into Tampa. So they're the ones that are the priorities. So because Tampa is so much local fans, it's like, they're the bottom rung show coming in there. So they weren't able to get a different date.
Time to move to Miami.
Yeah.
Anyway, that bites, man. They're competing with something they can't compete against. Let's be honest. Dragon Con's monstrous.
Oh no, there's no way that
I always tell people, you're going to go to Dragon Con, you might want to start walking like 3 months ahead of time, get yourself in good shape, because there's a lot of walking. I mean, there's a lot. First off, there's a lot of walking just in the hotels, and the thing is, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's 24 hours, so it's insane. Plus, and when you get out of the hotel, it's Atlanta's built on hills, so it's up and down, up. Oh man, it's a workout, but it's a lot of fun, and everybody comes in good spirits. A lot of dressed up people. Everybody's having a good time. FanX is fun too. I haven't never made it to Tampa yet, but FanX was fun too.
Yeah. We have somebody else coming in. Was there somebody else that's supposed to be on the show?
Oh, they're actually with us. They just came in a few seconds ago.
Okay.
And there's beautiful Randy right there. What's up?
Yo, Randy. Hello, Randon. I missed you.
Hey,
you were at a presentation a few days ago, which I didn't see you at, but
okay, yeah.
So glad you're able to join us. So we got Sandy and John here, are both winners and going to be published in this edition of Rise to Future Volume 41.
Okay. Yeah, and same with me. I was I think quarter 2, I believe.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you in LA?
No, I live in Brooklyn.
Well, I'm going to be in New York next week. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's my neck of the woods there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be going there for the Audio Publishers Association conference and the Audio Awards. You get a chance to wear some warm clothes for a few days.
Yeah, you'll need them. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for summer to come. I'm tired of the cold weather. I mean, come on. We had a foot of snow here this year. I live on the Gulf. I mean, I literally live on the Gulf. I ain't saying the words. I live on the Gulf. So, It's that's where I live. It should be no snow here. I mean, it was 18 degrees this week. Get the hell out of here.
Oh, wow.
This is the deep south, man. This is not even like the south. You can't go no further south. You hit the water. I'm kind of like, it's been a crazy year. Every couple of years we get a cold snap like that. It's crazy. It's not like you live in.
Is that you, Sandy?
Pardon?
Was that you? Who's got the growling cat? Sound like a growling cat?
That's my cat. I'm sorry.
Dad said, "Mom, it's time to get your mom." The cat came from mom. It's time to get off.
The cat, yeah, that's mine. Yeah, she's not happy.
Don't feel bad. My chihuahua.
She wants dinner.
Yes,
That's feed me.
See, my dogs know when it's time for me to get off air. They're in here. They come in here. They're like, "Okay, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's time to get off the radio now. Let's go eat. Let's go.
Exactly.
Or she'll get on my lap and stay there until it's time for me to get up. She's like, nope.
Yeah.
You can't see her. She's only this big, but still,
Yeah. So now, Randon, so you're a writer, but what else do you do that you're like so famous?
I would say I'm not very famous at all. Yeah, but
You're on the show right now.
I've done other types of writing. That's true. That's true. I've done other types of writing. So I've done science journalism, for instance. I've done some ghost writing. I've done some copywriting. So any type of writing I'll do. But my favorite is definitely writing fiction, writing science fiction in particular. So it was super exciting to be picked for this contest.
Yeah,
it's going to be a blast too.
The thing about writing fiction versus nonfiction, like you're saying, there's like fiction has to be real. Fiction has to make sense, whereas nonfiction doesn't. Nonfiction, you've got to like,
I'm not touching that with 5-foot pole.
No, but like, you can write a story, and the ending has got to like, ta-da! Everything's got to come together and with a climax. But in real life, in nonfiction, you can have these things, these quirks, and the stuff that happens like, oh, that's not fair. All of a sudden, like the way World War I got started, it's like, oh, no way could that ever happen. That so many coincidences, so many flukes could lead to where Ferdinand is assassinated, but yet that's what happened in real life. But if you're trying to put that together in a story and write it in a story, people would shame you saying, look, that's a cheap shot there. That's like, do your homework,
Yeah,
so,
fiction has to feel believable, and it has to have fewer coincidences than reality, for sure.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing. It's just, because I've talked to people and say, yeah, I couldn't write that in a fiction book. I can only be in a nonfiction book to write that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why you've got Hollywood feels so compelled to take a true story, and they have to fictionalize it to make it so it's more compelling.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, there's a quote I like from Stephen King that fiction is the truth inside the lie. And I think I feel like it sums it up pretty well.
Yeah. And it's interesting because you also have like other authors too, like Tim Powers will take a story, a piece of factual history, and then he'll find the holes, like, okay, well, what happened between here and here? Nobody knows. So he'll then interpolate, some fantastical thing that caused that to happen. So he'll take something real fantasy, real fantasy. And then like the success of a really good writer is, where does it meld to becoming, fantasy versus reality, and making you believe that, wow, this whole thing, like, wait a minute, what happened there? Or alternate history. If they really do it well, you've got true history, then you've got alternate history, and then true history, and like not seeing where the line merges between truth and fantasy. So then, like Random, when you do your writing, so you've got the fiction side, science fiction side, but you also then have your nonfiction side. Is it two different parts of your brain that you use to do that, or how's that work for you?
Yeah, it feels like it is, actually. I would say maybe sometimes there are connections. Like sometimes when I'm doing ghostwriting, where I have to write in somebody else's voice, I feel like for that, it's almost like writing fiction from the standpoint of a character. I'm trying to get inside this other character and see how they see the world and represent it as they would. So there's like some points of overlap, but yeah, it's one of those Venn diagrams where there's a lot of separate stuff too, right?
Yeah. So Sandy, have you ever written both fiction and nonfiction, or you?
Yeah, I actually had to do a lot of nonfiction because reports and
You're a chemical
technical
engineer.
papers.
Yeah, chemical engineer.
Yeah, I did a lot of technical writing, which is not nearly as fun as fiction.
Yeah, but it's interesting. So the use of what you learn on being able to write fiction, do you ever use that to take and like spice up your nonfiction, or does your nonfiction have to be like, very precise and exacting and very dull?
I always try to make it relatable and readable. So I think some of the things that you learn in fiction kind of help you, and vice versa. Getting to the point and clarity is really important. So, I tried to use that so it wasn't a chore to read it, hopefully.
But that's also the value of writing short fiction as compared to novels, because novels, you can just really like roll it out there, roll out the words to get up to where you open the door.
Yep.
What about yourself, Brandon?
Yeah, I would say there's definitely, you still want to hook the reader at the beginning. You want to give them a sense of what they're in for the piece, so they can decide if this is something they're interested in, and hopefully decide it is. But then you don't want to give away the whole game right at the beginning. So there's still some payoff at the end. So I feel like some of those things of like flow and going from one idea to the next, some of that actually is still the same in a weird kind of way. But of course, the way it expresses itself is different, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And when you finish a fiction book, you can say the end. When you finish a nonfiction book, you got 18 pages of citations.
Yeah, and charts and tables.
Have you published any books, Brandon, that people can purchase?
No, I haven't. No, I've written articles for places like Scientific American or Salon. So I have a few articles and essays out there, but no books as of yet. Knock on wood. But.
So what does somebody search to be able to find these things? I just see Randon.
Yeah, well, sorry. I should have my last name on there too. Randon Bartholomew would be the thing to search. And then a few things will pop up there.
Oh, good. So Randon Bartholomew. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So that's RandynBarthol.
Yeah, that's it. And then
OLOMEW. Like that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Good. All right, good. So you can search that and find technical papers so you can learn what can you learn?
And those won't be technical. Those are for general audience. So those will be, I wrote an article a while back on how daylight savings is not that great. A lot of sleep experts are not fans of that. I wrote an article about how scientists are trying to decipher the vocalizations of sperm whales and actually think that it might be a type of proto-language almost. I wrote another piece, a personal essay about how I started not using a smartphone. I've actually switched over to a flip phone a while back. And I wrote a piece for Salon, I think it was, a while back, on what that experience has been like.
What has it been like?
Oh, man. Well, getting places is harder. I will say that. So yeah, sometimes I have to rely on other people with Google Maps, but I feel like it gives me a lot more peace of mind. I feel like this is maybe true of a lot of writers, where like information is just inherently sort of interesting and addictive. And if I have a smartphone, I'm always just kind of looking up things, and there's obviously some value to that, but I feel like it's also, it can just draw me in and siphon off all my time and energy, and it's addictive and I can't look away.
Yes.
So this is kind of, I think, freed me a little bit. That sounds kind of melodramatic.
Sounds like playing Captain Kirk anyway.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, no, I do love, flipping it open.
You know, one of our hosts actually has a communicator that's a telephone. He actually has one. He uses it. He was showing it to him a couple of nights back in one of the other shows. He said, "Watch this," but you can't do any surfing. It's just a telephone. It doesn't do anything else. It's I can't believe he actually has a tricorder. I mean, a flip phone. It's exact replica too. It's funny as hell to see it. But you'll hear it too. Well, we've been in the middle of the show. And you'll hear the thing go. Come on, you're like, "What the hell is this?" Oh, that's my code. It's coming on. I got my communicator. I gotta answer it.
No, it's interesting you say that because, I mean, I travel a lot, and so this is an office now. Because the number of things I've got in here, yeah, I got the phone, but then I've got all the social pages. I've got like my flight data, because I fly around a lot, so I can then get there, the hotels, booking, all that type of stuff. It's just, it's not so much that it spoils it saves me a lot of time that, and I've got a podcast, so I do a show a week. And so I pretty much have to read a book a week. So whenever I'm not doing anything, I'm like, I'm on here on Kindle reading a book, which I love because if I don't know a word, I can click on it and immediately looks it up for me. So I can look up the definition of a word that I'm reading in a book. But reading a book a week, I've got to make it as efficient as I can in doing that. But I like what you got there. But I grew up also with the maps. You're driving along there or you learn to like, hey, where's this? Well, you go up there to the, I've had plenty of those things where you stop at gas stations, they don't know where anything is anymore. Everybody, because of this technology, nobody bothers to know where this restaurant is.
Yeah, these things don't always work.
Because you I stop at the gas station, they always knew that where was at gas stations. Yeah, so you don't have that anymore. And the Thompson maps, I used to carry that on my those are the ones. Did you ever use Thompson maps before?
No, I don't think so.
No,
I always print out
when they first invented paper. So that one there was it broke down your whole city or your state, whatever, in these little grids, and you flip the pages, and it'd say, okay, this one here, you go to the page, this, so you flip that page, and that's how you could find out where you're going.
Yeah, you could just draw a line
before the internet. That's how you used to get around, and everybody had one of those things in their car.
Yeah, I used to just draw a line where eventually I'd have to replace it, but I started printing out my maps everywhere I wanted to go. And I kept doing it even after I got my phone, because I learned something. I was in Arkansas doing a lecture, and we were coming home, and we got off in some forest somewhere. And guess what? There was no GPS for 3 hours. So we just running across roads. We had no idea where we were going. So I always keep that Expedia map in the car. I print one out before I leave, so I always got it in case something happens. I can just look and say, oh, no, I'm supposed to be right here, because we do a lot of traveling. A lot of it's on the road. And I don't want to wander around and have to take a gas in the middle of Arkansas somewhere. Just, you never know where you might end up.
Yeah, for sure.
Deliverance country, man.
Oh,
man. No, people, y'all know I love y'all in Arkansas. Y'all know that. Yes, not really, sort of, kind of. Let me bring in our other guest down here. It looks like somebody's being all quiet and patient down here. Like, dun, 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 dun. Where'd you go? There you are.
Wow.
Oh, hello.
Daniel.
Hello.
So he's in the book too. And Daniel illustrated, let's see, page 12. And he illustrated the story for The Boy from Elsewhere. So here's his art in there, right there. You see it? That's pretty amazing. That was really good. Amazing art there, Daniel.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, see no art, man. They tight with that art. Got to make it to the reveal to see it. They keep that stuff a secret.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. This is because I'm starting with volume 30 when we switched from being a mass market paperback to a trade paperback. This is obviously volume 41. We started then doing color, the color illustrations. The first one or two volumes, it was in the back of the book. Then we moved to the front of the book. So let's feature the artist in there. So we started doing that, but we still have the black and white images with the story that you've got there. but it's also, then we also have, like I said, the color, which is amazing stuff, which you'll be able to see fully on when we have the cover reveal or the art reveal on during the workshop week, when your author Daniel gets to see the art then for the first time. Very emotional, very emotional. You're all gonna be crying. We'll have a bunch of tissues. Exactly.
Oh, sorry, y'all can't see, right? Yeah, okay. I'm just looking at the picture of myself. That's all.
Yeah.
It looks good. Can't show. Damn.
Nope. No showing.
Okay. See, look.
We're gonna have to do it.
Freak out. It's
how many? So I never asked you, John, or you, Daniel. So how many times did you enter the contest before winning?
I entered, I think, once before.
Illustrator, typical illustrator, yes.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean that in a bad way. Illustrators win for some reason. They win faster than the authors do. I don't know if it's more competition or just the nature of how it works, but I see them. It's kind of strange, actually.
What about you, John?
And they're usually younger too.
This was my first time entering.
Good, yeah.
Wow.
Well, what the thing I think it is, because the writer contest has been going longer than the illustrator contest, and there's more of a curve between the beginner and the advanced, and I think the illustrators, I don't know, it's like you've got the good guys and then the guys that are trying to ramp up to it, and so it's usually the people when they enter at the beginning, when they're like, wow, I discovered this new contest. We got, so you got a master's degree in illustration, John. And what about you, Daniel?
I'm still in my junior year in illustration.
High school?
So I'm in a college.
College, yeah.
They say legally young high school there, man.
Yeah. Well, we've had high school winners, but we've had two other winners this year that are in SCAD's, Savannah College of Art and Design. So we've had, because art schools actually do better teaching art, writing schools, if people go and get a degree in writing, they usually have to spend the next several years unlearning everything they were taught. So there's a longer curve for people that go to get a degree in writing, because they're taught by professors that don't know how, have never been published, or they've got a little short story. Whereas when you go to an art school, you got the real pros there. They can't get in there as an instructor unless they themselves have some serious cred, So when you're there being taught by at an art school, it's more the real deal. So there's that, when we have more winners, are people that have either graduated from art school or going to art school because they're now really going through that crucible of learning to be able to do well. So I found that seems to be more like what's happening on that with the illustrators and artists rather than the writers. And if I step on anybody's toes, this is just what I've observed. So now, Daniel, have you been to Los Angeles before?
No, I've never been to California before, but it'll be exciting.
Yeah. Now, Randy, you were just here in California, right?
No, I wasn't in California.
Have you been here before?
I have. I was there maybe for the first time 3 or 4 years ago. I was very briefly in LA. My brother and I drove through it as part of a road trip, but that's my only exposure so far.
Okay, well, fair enough. Has anybody else been to California before, Sandy or John?
Yep, several times. Yep.
Yeah, I was out there back I think like 2 years ago. I was in LA and Pasadena area.
Yeah.
What's this California place y'all keep talking about? Where is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where is that? They get the edge of the earth or something?
Very much so. So yeah, so it's interesting because we were like where we are, like obviously we had the recent fires here in Los Angeles, and the Hollywood Hills right behind us. There was about 42 acres burned, and we were up the anybody watched my Facebook page, I posted as it was happening there. The fires came over the Hollywood Hills, and they came down to about three blocks away from us. We were all up there with hoses and buckets of water, watering everything down, keeping it so in case an ember flew over, nothing would catch. It was pretty crazy. But the wind was so strong, we'd be shooting the hose out there, and the water would be blowing right back into our faces, and everything was in about 15 minutes or so. So we had to keep on watering. But then about 8:30 or so at night, the wind stopped, and they were able to bring the helicopters in to put out the fire. It wasn't as good for Palisades or for Eaton, but that was good for us because we were saying, oh yeah, Hollywood never burns, you're safe here, and all of a sudden there's Hollywood Hills, just like if you can see the fire coming up over the ridge there. It's like, oh my gosh, it was blowing so fast coming down. But it was that was quite a scene that was happening then. But fortunately it was all put out there, and we're all safe because our building is where we're going to have the workshops. Both writer and illustrator workshops will be here at the offices, which would be good.
Yes, they got nice offices over there too.
Yeah.
I like
we have
stay away from the coffee machine.
The library where you'll see, like, we can't fit everything down after 40 plus years, but we've got so many different books from so many different winners that have been published there. You'll see all this stuff, and where we've had our past events and whatnot. I was just in at Cape Canaveral, at the Rocket Park a few weeks ago to receive a presentation from the National Space Society. And we were there earlier back in the late 90s for Rise of the Future Gala, or Rise of the Future event. And that's where we had the whole thing. And that's when we were the closest civilians to one of the space shuttle launches. And Jack Williamson, who was a very famous grandmaster of science fiction, he'd been writing about going to space since the 20s. He'd never seen a rocket launch. So he was, at that point, he was in his 80s. And we were sitting there, and he was like a little kid who was just like sparkle in his eyes, because we were right there we were surrounded by swamps, and the signs are posted, don't go near the edge because there's alligators and snakes. But we are all like doused in mosquito spray because it was just like tons of mosquitoes there. But then it was the countdown. You had the 10, 9, 8, and it was surreal just because I've been listening to it since the late 60s when, going to the moon and whatnot. That was just so amazing. But just listening to the countdown when the speakers from, Cape Kennedy, 10, 9, 8, and then you'd feel your whole body would be rumbling, from the force of those rocket engines going. And then you get so spoiled by television because you see here's the launch, and then here's again, and here's again. So a launch will last a good 3, 4, 5 minutes. But in real life, 30, 40 seconds, it's gone. There's no replay. There's no, here's another angle. Here's another angle. It's just like, boom, it's gone. But it's just, experiencing it in real life was just, I can still, remember that feeling of like my whole body, just the chest, the vibration of that much force coming out of the engines as it was taking off.
That's just Elon getting you California people ready for when he evicts y'all to Mars. That's where he's.
Have any of you seen a rocket launch?
No, not mine.
Never have.
No.
I've seen it in like the distance.
On my bucket list, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. No, it was definitely way cool. And I know some people, right now, because there's so many launches that are being done from SpaceX, it's one of those things that can actually be made to happen if you plan for it.
Yeah, he's launching all over the place right now too.
Yeah,
I'm lucky. I live right down a block from the NASA Stennis facility. They're always launching something down there, or blowing up something, or testing somebody's engines. They're literally, it's about 20 miles from where I live. They were testing engines the other day for the heavy lift. Everything in my house was rattled. Literally stuff was falling off the walls. So they're going to move it on the other side of the facility, 10 more miles further away, because everybody over here is like, what the hell? stop it. These are vacation homes. You can't just be rattling them apart, man. We're not going for that. They originally took all this territory because they took they incorporated 5 cities doing the Apollo program because they were blowing out windows as far as 30 miles away. And in New Orleans, which is 60 miles from the base, they could still feel stuff rattling around from the engines. That's how powerful they were. And so they're a little bit more careful. I've seen a few launches, and I've seen stuff launched off of aircraft carriers too. So that was kind of cool. that was interesting when I was in the service. I know we're getting late, so we got to plug. Anybody anything they want to plug? Or I know we're going to see all y'all in Jesus, what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 5 weeks, maybe
Coming up fast.
I know it seems like it's right the hell around the corner.
Well, Sandy has to do all of her stuff to get her outfit. Daniel and John just need to be able to give Joni the money, and they get their tuxedos. They go for the So
man, everybody looks good too. I gotta say, everybody looks good every year. So, and
have you also?
I have a. Oh, sorry, I just wanted to plug really quick. I have a Patreon. I can put the link in there. Yeah. But if anyone's interested in seeing sort of personal work and writing and some that kind of thing, got that as well. So
yeah, put it in because this is all when we leave. All this publishes and it stays published. It doesn't go anywhere. It's published for life because we don't unless YouTube decides to move a page. It's up there. It's on Facebook and everywhere else.
And then Daniel, where do we find your stuff?
Oh, I have an Instagram I can plug in.
Yeah, plug it up there, man. Pop it up there.
And then random, we just search random Bartholomew, and that's how we find your stuff.
Yeah, just Google. That's all I got. Yep.
Well, I'm actually, Sandy, do you have anywhere I can read some of your writing or any of that? I'm just curious.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I do have a couple stories that are published. Here, I'll show you. Wait, I have a story in Ruth and Ann's Guide to Time Travel, Volume 2.
Hey, that sounds interesting.
Do you have a link you put in there, like how to find it? Is it on Amazon?
Yeah, it's available on Amazon.
But yeah, just type the name of the book in there. They can find it. Anybody watching this show is internet savvy, so we ain't got to worry about that. It's what's it, Philip? 8 o'clock, yeah. 8 o'clock, yeah. No.
I love the name of that anthology.
I know, it's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah, Ruth and Ann's Guide to Time Travel.
And I also have a story. Let's see, a couple. I have a story in Factor 4 magazine. It's their 2022 anthology. Where else? A couple other random stories. I have a story out that came out, and I like to write drabbles, so I have a drabble out in the 100-Foot Crow.
Anyway, I just put the link to your story, Sandy, in the chat.
Oh, great! All right, awesome, thank you.
Yeah,
damn, I think 6 miles long.
It's a really long one.
No, Amazon's ridiculous with that stuff sometimes. No, Frankie. So you live in LA? I still can't get you in. I'm sorry, dude. Bribing me with what? Wait, let's talk now. What you bribe me with? If it's good enough, I can talk John. But, it's got to be a good bribe, man. Ain't giving none of that cheap shit stuff. No, actually, like I've said this 100 million times. If I had $1 for every time I said this, I could retire. You have to submit. You got to win.
So just one last thing before everybody tunes off here. So Sandy, John, and Daniel, what are you most looking forward to coming out to LA next month?
Meeting everyone. In April. For me.
What's that?
I can't wait to meet everybody. It's nice to have a little pre-meeting, but I think it's just going to be fun to sit and chat and learn and hang out with everyone.
So we're doing everybody's going to do this before the thing. So you can go back and listen if you want to just hear how the rest of the crew is going to be. The first 4 we did 2 weeks ago, that's a very hyper group. Last week we only had 2 because we had something else going on. And then there's already 10 of y'all that'll be updated that you can see. And then next week we'll do another 4. Okay. And it's a good way for y'all just to take a peek at who may be there, may not be there.
So John and Daniel, what are you both looking forward to?
I'm excited for the workshop and getting to meet everyone. That'll be pretty fun. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting away from the cold. So we've had mostly sub-zero weather here. So I'm looking forward to California.
Jesus,
Good. And then Brandon.
Yeah, I mean,
keep
just
submitting. Keep submitting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but no, I'm just looking forward to meeting. No, yeah. So I was the first place for Q2. So I'll be there in LA as well.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. You're gonna have a lot of time. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna have a lot of fun. John, you know what? You had a reverse Vulcan thing on one of your characters, man. It looked like that. Can you see it? I was like,
okay. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what a reverse.
That didn't make any sense either. I know what you mean. It just, for some reason, when I seen it, it's what popped into my head. I was like, Joe, you just never know what's going to pop into my head.
Yeah.
But no, y'all really will have.
I like drawing hands, so
yeah. So it's
so Brandon, you're not. Are you in this book?
Yeah, I'm in there. Yeah.
Which is
I'm my story. And I think I'm.
Oh, there we go. I see it now. Jesus, I was just like. All this time you got antsy. I love that story.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you so much.
Story.
That's amazing. Jesus, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
It's well, y'all gonna get to talk with the big dogs when you get here. When you get out in LA, you're gonna have a lot of fun, a lot of work. I just say,
Random. What I didn't ask you. Jeez, I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay.
What are you looking to? What are you looking forward to?
Oh yeah, I mean, just meeting the other writers and illustrators too. Yeah, just the writers, the judges, just the workshops, all of it. I think I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, because you got a great piece of art there.
Oh really? I haven't seen it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing much of it.
So they're gonna be slowing this thing down and stopping it, trying to see what this artwork. I can see him now. Wait, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Yeah, hold on, we're gonna get it. Oh god.
I saw a flash of color there, but that's all.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. I gave it away. It's got color in it.
Well, so far everything I've seen, I've liked. I've read. I think I'm 6 stories in, 5. Yeah, 6 stories in, and I'll probably finish it sometime this weekend, maybe tomorrow. And then I'll read it again, and then I'll read it on the airplane coming in because you usually have 3 or 4 hours to hang out on a plane. So, and that way it's fresh in my mind when I see y'all there. See, these interviews are different, but when I get you one-on-one, it's a whole different ball game. Then, oh man, then it gets interesting, especially for you authors, because the illustrators are a little bit. How can I say this? They're we'll just say they're a little bit introverted, and where the authors are a little bit more extroverted. So, you know what's funny about that? Fair. It's funny that flips when you get to the judges. It's completely the opposite. Don't ask me. It's just the way it is. But it is. It just seems to be the way it is, and it's nice for me to know it because it makes it easier for me now when I'm doing interviews. Yeah, because when you're talking about a lot of stuff, and when we're going across stuff. Or sometimes I'll ask, like an artist, I might ask about a particular piece that may have some particular meaning to them. So you never know where that's going to take you when you ask that question, which can be very interesting. But it's pretty much the same with the authors. And I always like to ask that boring question: what the hell made you think you were an author or an illustrator? So far, out of over a couple of hundred authors and illustrators, no one's answered this question the same. No one. It's insane. It never comes out the same. But I know we got to get out of here because we have the shows coming on. We're going to be griping and complaining here in a minute. I want to thank all y'all for joining us. I can't wait to meet everybody when we get out to LA. I hope y'all have a marvelous time when you're there. I'm going to tell you now, get some sleep ahead of time.
Great.
Just build it up. Build it up. Build it up.
Everybody listening or watching us right now, be sure to pre-order your copy of Rise to Future Volume 41. These are all amazing, talented artists and writers, and you're going to discover your next favorite writer and artist in this book here. So pre-order it right now, and that helps to launch their careers as best-selling authors and artists when we launch in April. So please pre-order your copies now.
Yes, get out your butt. You know what it is. Stop being tight. Hey, the emperor's in now, so you should have more money. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have went there. I apologize.
Joe, we can thank people for being here.
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys. I really enjoyed myself. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. Coming up next is the chat. They'll be coming on. God knows what's going to come out of everybody's mouth on that show because those people are all insane. And yes, I am one of the hosts on the show, so I'm just warning. But come by, check it out. There's a lot of different topics tonight. One of them is ancient dark magics. I don't know where that's going to end up going. One of them has something to do with politics. I'm not sure where that's going to end up going. But anyway, there's some other stuff squeezed in between there. And of course, we do the weekly report card, which is always fun. This show's insane. But anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and the Arthur's Quill. I hope everyone's having a fabulous time out there in the world. Enjoy life. Because let me tell you what, it's only this long. Before you know it, it's so have some fun. Good night, everybody. Hey, it's a good night to leave it.